I'm happy to announce that I finally got into the dresser. The drawers still seemed frozen in place, so I talked with a friend who advised me to break the fuck out of it. I did just that. It was stuffed so full of clothing and personal items that it's no wonder it was heavy as a Buick and didn't shift around. I thought I shattered my shoulder when the sledgehammer hit the first time. I came down on the top as hard as I could, and there was absolutely no give. The hammer just bounced off. If you've ever had to take the full reverberations of a sledgehammer like that, you know what I'm talking about. The dresser didn't look damaged, so I tipped it over and went apeshit on the back, crushed it like a piece of paper. The items inside the dresser seemed to be in really great shape. There are 3 complete military outfits, a couple of cigar boxes with miscellaneous medals and rank insignias, and an entire wool sock stuffed with coins, which were primarily gold and ranged from 1856 to 1861. Looks like I just found a way to pay for the renovations. There were also a few notebooks with sketches of the terrain and handwritten maps, some paper money from 1902, and an ornate little box full of women's costume jewelry. A really sweet stovepipe hat with newspapers shoved inside, random ammunition, and a book. I haven't really gotten into the jewelry yet, but the book caught my eye because it looked like the cover was made from some sort of lightly tanned animal hide. At first look, I thought it was made of human flesh, but after opening it, I don't think that's the case. It's 192 pages long and handwritten in a language I've never seen. I can only equate it to the runic letters from Lord of the Rings. It looks elvish, or whatever it was that wrote the runes in that series. There's what looks like a dedication page that, with the help of an online translator, says, Dinsmold hihrilhrum will go ej hurlmk. I've got no clue what that means, but that's where I'm leaving the translation of that text. It's got bad vibes written all over it, and I don't want anything to do with it. The captain's journal has one post written on the final page, and since that's what brought me here initially, I thought I'd include it. I might continue this with a part 2 later, transcribing the letters, and I'll definitely update you on anything else I found about the book, but here are the final posts of the journal. Oh, and share your thoughts on what you think that dedication says. From the Journal of Captain Grady White. March 21st, 1886. I paid $1.62 for this journal. A mountainous sum for the quality I find it in. At some point there was blood spread across several pages, and the original owner crossed out significant sections. The contents within are worth far more to the right individual. My intent is to follow the trail and find the vessel. There is real profit to be made if I can provide the journal and the vessel which it describes. My name is unimportant. I joined in the search for this diary when I was told of the story of Boone Helm. Truly a fascinating example of human depravity. Boone lived a life of debauchery, murder, and cannibalism. The numbers will never do justice to the multitude of victims he murdered. It's impossible to know. His special friend, D, or as it's been named in Zuni, a Hayuta. There are other names for this creature, though this isn't the time. After Boone was relieved of the vessel, he was burdened with constant cravings for flesh. His appetite was enough that he would move through the West and terrorize those he encountered, before offering them the solace of a quick death. He never came through on that promise. A cannibal and a thief, Boone chose to ignore the concepts of civilization and replaced them with his own vision of what the world should be. He performed ritualistic sacrifices toward the end, attempting to bring D back to his side. Acquaintances tell of his need to reconnect with the vessel, which has been misinterpreted as a decanter. D never did return to Boone, nor did the vessel. It hasn't turned up in any of the usual places, nor has it been referenced by any travelers to my knowledge. I am headed into the Colorado mountains to find the cabin he left the bowl in. It has to be there. Always the ally. Arthur Royce. End of transcribed journal entries. As I mentioned earlier, the new holder of the journal put an end to the saga, though with a conclusion that does not appear to be complete. I'll see about adding a few letters, though some of the conversations are relatively dry, and without the full story of what was sent from Mr. Royce, not everything makes sense. Several letters are simple yes or no replies. The idea that this notebook may hold the key to whatever's been creating the ominous feeling emanating from the room itself doesn't seem plausible. The feeling of being constantly watched while inside the room has grown over the past few days. Now it feels as though something is physically present. The boot sounds were very active last evening, though I didn't see any intruder. There are several reasons for this phenomenon, though I'm at a loss as to the doll. The fucking thing in the basement keeps moving around. The local chapter of the Ghost Club is coming to check it out. Hopefully they can get to the bottom of this. I don't want to keep seeing and hearing things in my house. It's time for the doll to go. I am afraid there may be little creatures tunneling into the room. I've also heard my name whispered at least 3 times. I'm leaving this for now, and have decided to seal the room again. It's in such disrepair that I could get sued over an accident. Plus, it scares the shit out of me. Thank you for your patience in waiting. I'm sorry I don't have more closure, but I'll update you with any new information. Thanks. The man in Fort Collins.